That's perfect. I have a cat. I think he's in the basement right now trying to find more mice. We'll come upstairs. It's not my cat, but the cat I'm taking care of. So we'll go ahead and sit comfortably to start. That is for you, right? And take a moment to go inside and slow down our breath. So sitting with our spine long, shoulders relaxed. We're just going to let our eyes soften or close, whatever is comfortable, and start to slow down and deepen our breath here. So just becoming aware of the breath. You might want to take the breath in through your nose and out through the mouth, or whatever way you prefer to breathe. Noticing our belly, relaxing, our hips, letting go as we draw the air in and down. Exhaling it all the way out, up and out, noticing the jaw soften and relax, tongue, brow. Just coming inside, finding that inner stillness, finding that place of presence. Mind resting on our breath. And let's take our hands and just gently tap around our heart. So a little wake up of our heart, thymus, immune system, right? Just gently tapping as we breathe. And maybe up around the collarbone a little bit. And then we can bring our hands up to our head and gently massage our scalp. So waking up all the channels that run through our scalp, waking up our head a little. And then bringing our hands to our ears, we can just kind of massage and pull a little bit on the ears, all around. Stretch of the lobes, waking up our vagus nerve. And then putting the fingers in the ears, we'll just gently pull down and hold, taking a breath. Slow, full breath. Noticing if you might feel a little bit more relaxed from doing that. And then we'll let our arms come out from our shoulders and do flapping wings to move our spine. So reaching forward as we pull the spine back. And then we'll bring our arms back as we lift the heart, reach forward with our chest. So just back and forth a few times as we breathe, allowing a little bit of movement in our spine. A little stretching in the shoulders and the chest. And then go ahead and let your arms come down beside you. We'll come into a butterfly pose, which is where I am. So if you want to do a long-legged butterfly, bring the feet a little bit away from the hips, maybe put a pillow under your legs if that helps your hips and knees relax. And then we'll just start to come forward over our legs and relax here. So just letting the hips go, letting the knees go, noticing if they're all the way relaxed. If you want to just give your feet a little bit of attention, you can massage the feet while you're here. I just like to use the butterfly as an opportunity for that. The feet don't usually get very much attention. Right? So give them a little massage. They do so much for us. And the butterfly pose is such a great stretch for our sacrum. Sacrum gets a stretch in all directions. This pose. Start to let our hips open a little bit. Gently opening the hips, and butterfly is always a nice pose to do if you're ever feeling any tension or stress in your low back or your sacrum or your hips, right? Just kind of hanging out in butterfly pose. Good for that. We can allow, if it's comfortable, to round the spine and allow the head to just relax. We also get that stretch through the spine, decompression of the vertebra, as well as the neck. Opening up our spine more. Okay, we'll go ahead and start to come up from there. Won't stay too long in butterfly. We'll just walk ourselves up to sitting and let your knees move around a little bit. That feels good to just do a little windshield wiper movement. And we'll come into half shoelace. Now, if half shoelace isn't comfortable for you, you can do caterpillar, which is both legs straight in front. Otherwise, cross the right leg over the left with that knee lined up with your bottom knee as much as it will. And then we'll take our left hand start with a little twist by bringing our left hand to that right knee, lengthen our spine, bring the right hand behind us, and just spiral back here. So just taking a couple breaths, a few breaths in our twist. And then coming back around the face forward, just start to fold forward over the legs. You might like to wedge your hands under the knee. If that knee needs a little support, or put something under your knee, just kind of let your torso relax over the legs. Again, you can have both legs straight as an option if this is too much for the knees for you. Obviously, this will increase the stretch in our left leg, behind our left leg and hip, as well as give us a little bit of compression in the right knee. Also, flex your foot if you want to. Kind of bring a little more stretch into the back of the calf and Achilles. Increasing the stretch even more, or just let your foot relax. So yin is, as I say a lot of times, often is I consider a body meditation. It's a way to meditate really in our body so that we can explore what's going on. And of course, the body and the mind are not separate. So it's a body-mind practice. And then we can extrapolate that our heart is not separate. So it encompasses our full capacity as a human being, really. And just allowing for a deeper sense of presence, of being within our own selves. It's nice to have a little bit of space for that in our busy lives. It's easy to, in our busy lives, to have all of our energy channels that run in our body to get a little bit tight and a little bit clogged, you could say. So by breathing and holding these poses for a time, we can really release and get that energy flowing. So we'll slowly come up from there. You always want to come out of the pose with awareness and fairly slowly so that we don't snap out of it too quickly. Uncross, and we'll take that right leg out to the side. If you want to shake your legs out a bit, feel free to kind of give them a little movement. And we'll just bring our left foot in for half butterfly. So you can also put something underneath that knee for support. And we'll just relax forward over this right leg here. Here we'll get a little more stretch in our side body and through that left hip. Just relaxing, remembering that gravity is our friend and the time and the gravity that are giving us that opportunity to open these channels, let the energy move. And the breath and the mind are so interlinked, aren't they? So we want to become even more present and more alive within our body and practice just observing our thoughts and noticing them, noticing how much they may or may not be in control. So not to try to suppress them, but just to allow whatever thoughts might flow through. Just kind of breathe into them. There was a study done somewhere that discovered that the human mind, or the thoughts processes, spend about over half the time, something like 56% or something, wandering, unfocused thought. Sometimes that can be can lead to some of the less desirable things that like fear and worry to come in. But just noticing our thoughts is such a good practice, such a healthy practice. If you want to add a little more stretch to that, you can always bring that left arm up and face forward. Take a little bit of a side stretch. Now, if that's uncomfortable at all for the low back, though, don't bring that arm overhead because it can add more pressure to the sacrum and the low back, sort of in this position. We're staying with that nice, open, full, yet relaxed breathing. Another way to assist us in becoming more present and more comfortable with the experience of presence is to feel our feelings, allow them as well. So we allow our thoughts and observe our thought processes, and we allow our feelings and allow ourselves the space to feel what's there. Yin can be very helpful with that as well. So let's go ahead and start to come up slowly from there. So just walking the hands up, and our torso upright. Oh, and then we'll give our legs a little bit of movement. So whatever is good, whatever feels good, you can let the knees sway side to side, shake the legs out. Lean back and shake the legs out. And then perhaps shoelace on the other side. Bringing that left leg. Again, caterpillar option, just both legs forward if you like. Stack the knees. And then we'll start by hugging our left knee and lengthening our spine, and we'll spiral back to the left. Taking a few breaths here. Just allowing our breath to bring us into that twist. Not forcing it, just breathing it. And then we'll come around to face forward and just start to come forward over the legs, maybe wedging the hands under the knees if that's helpful for your knee. Or putting a little towel or pillow under there, something to support. And of course, anytime we're doing a pose that doesn't feel so right in your body or doesn't feel good for you today, feel free to do something else, right? You don't have to do what we're doing, or you can do a little adaptation of some sort, as long as it's a yin pose. Yin type of pose where you can hold the stretch. Allow the body to relax. So um, the reason I like to bring up the feelings of, especially today, and the awareness of presence, is because today is a full moon, actually, in the sign of Capricorn, and full moons are such an opportunity for awareness, right? The sun is and the moon are facing off with each other, and the moon is in its full light, and it's just a time of illumination. This particular full moon is really a good time to look at where we feel nurtured, to just look at the feelings, and maybe where we might have feelings that we are not really our true feelings, but they might come from a place of obligation, or feel that something's being expected of us, whether that's a current happening, or it might be something in our memory from childhood or a long time ago, where we do react out of this belief that we're supposed to be such and such a way, or feel such and such a way. And just to allow that open exploration of what's really mine, what feelings are really mine, and how do I really feel now? You know, feelings and the thoughts are so interconnected and interwoven. So by maybe observing the thoughts, we can, is that belief still true, or is that thought really true? Is it coming from a place where I was taught that? I inherited it or something. Just giving ourselves time to nurture ourselves at this time is really important. And just looking at how we do that in a way that's really nurturing, and not just obligatory, or, oh, I have to earn this, or I have to work for it, or something like that. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to earn it. Okay, so let's slowly come up from there. And if your leg is crossed over, you can uncross it and just kind of move the legs around a little bit if you want. We'll bring it a half butterfly by taking that left leg out, right foot into the thigh. And again, you might want to support your leg. I need to. And we'll come forward over the left leg. Relax here. Feeling that stretch through our right lateral hip and side body. Of course, we get into the spleen meridian channel here, which is all about nurturing and nourishing the spleen, as well as the gallbladder channel. Gets stimulated, stretched. Growing up, I didn't really have a very nurturing mother, and And that's just her, the way she was. She wasn't the type, and she was young. And so at a very young age, I turned toward nature. And I found my nourishment and my nurturing in nature, and being in nature, the trees and just everything about nature was suddenly became my mother, or kind of slowly and suddenly at the same time became my mother, my true mother. Not that I didn't still have my mother. And also I took up taking care of children at a young age, and nurturing and caring for others is so often the best medicine for helping us to care and nurture ourselves by doing unto others, by giving unto others. We give to ourselves. This can be very fulfilling when it's coming from a place of love, genuine care, and love. Also, if you'd like to add more to that stretch, you can always bring your kind of lift up, bring that right arm over, facing forward, and for as long as the arm wants to stay there, you can kind of add some more stretch to there. That right side. And provides us that wonderful opportunity to deepen our sense of presence within our body, and that sense of nurturing our own body, being our own, say, parent. Right? Maybe to our inner child as well. This full moon is about really coming into touch with the inner child. Could be actual children in your life as well. So we'll go ahead and slowly bring ourselves up to sitting and let your right leg come up and move the legs around a little bit, whatever feels good to you. Let's bring our hands behind our hips, bring our feet in closer, and we might lift and lower our hips a few times. Bring some flow into the legs and the arms. And then we'll come around to Sphinx. So we'll come onto our belly and we'll start in infant. You might bring a pillow or folded up blanket with you. And we'll bring our arms by our side here and reach back, lifting the head and chest and shoulders, kind of roll the shoulders back, engaging our back muscles, right? So we can kind of wake up the backside muscles after all that forward folding. Just breathe. And then we'll bring our elbows under the shoulders and let the pelvis relax. You might like to rock a little bit side to side. Whatever feels good to you. Might like to look up and bring our head up and look upward to get a little stretch and a little compression in the back of the neck for all that forward folding. So it's a good little counter pose for that. We've let our head hang. And whatever the head and neck like to do, Sphinx, it's fine. You can move your head and neck around. Hang some more. And then an option here, if you want to add a little bit more hip opening, is you can do half frog and Sphinx if we want to kind of slide that left knee up a bit, maybe part way up or maybe higher, wherever it can go. Option for adding just a little bit more hip opening. Might like to just stay in Sphinx with your legs back and lift your feet up. Another option. Frog and Sphinx. Okay, just noticing if that hip is relaxed and really let go. You can also come in and out of that half frog. You can straighten the leg again at any time, but just let your body tell you. And if you are in half frog on the left, you can slide that leg back down. And we'll come to half frog on the right if you'd like. Slide your right knee up and add a little bit more hip opening on that side. Again, optional. Any of the options that feels right for you. A nice hip opener or passive if you can let go into it, but also active. Sphinx. Breathing into it. And then we'll go ahead and take a break. So if you want to slide one leg up, if you're not already in half frog, just rest your head on your hands and look toward that leg. Take a little moment. And we'll slide that leg down. Come back into Sphinx one more time. Or you can come into Seal if you'd like by widening the arms a little bit and straightening them, maybe adjusting them a little farther out. So spreading our fingers wide. Seal. You can also bring a pillow underneath the pelvis for support and Seal. Or just do another Sphinx, any of those variations in Sphinx. Whatever feels good to you. Staying and moving in and out of any of them as it feels right. Basically, in Seal, we're going to increase that compression in our lumbar. So the butt muscles might tense up, which is natural. And also really nourishing our low back, right, and our kidneys and our kidney channel. Kidneys are in charge of our will and our stamina. So we govern that part of our life. To really increase your back bend, you can walk your hands even closer in. You could even bring your pelvis off the ground if you like. It's really up to you how you like to make this pose kind of work for your body, right? And keeping in mind that our breath is important and we need to keep it even, not let it get resistant or choppy, just our signal to come out of the pose or come into a less intense version. Okay, so if you are in Seal, you can go ahead and bring yourself back down to your elbows. And whatever side you didn't do in half frog last time, you can slide the other knee up and rest your head on your hands for just a moment here. So looking toward that bent knee, that side, if you can. And just taking a few breaths here. Our shoulders are rest. Then we'll slide that leg down and bring ourselves up to our hands and knees, onto our all fours. And just Gently move our spine by curling the tailbone under and rounding and letting the head relax. You might like to press the hips back towards your heels and then come up and come into an arch, arching the spine, and then just moving back and forth in that cat-cow movement, right? Letting our spine come back to balance here very gently. Slowly. Going between that long held poses and forward fold and back bend, back and forth between those. So good for us, but we have to be gentle with our spine when we come out of it. And then we can do a few circles, right? So letting your hips circle and just kind of letting your body go wherever it wants to. That happens here. And the other direction. And then we'll just bring our right foot forward. Now, if you're not able to do this, you can come onto your back. We're going to come into dragons, and you also might like blocks for support. You want to have blocks near you. You can come onto your back into a supine dragon or half happy baby as another option. And if you're on the mat, one hand on either side of your foot, you might like to rock in and out of that lunge to begin with. Find the lunge. And if you're on your back, you can either use a strap or use your hand on your foot with your sole of your foot pointing toward the ceiling, pulling the knee down toward the ground. Want to make sure our legs are lined up with our hips and not with each other. That lunge takes a little bit of time, and then once we get used to the lunge, we can take on another version of dragon if we want. There's high flying dragon. Our arms on that right leg. Or twisting dragon. My favorites by hugging them. Twisting to the right. Or there's low flying dragon with both hands inside the foot, coming a little bit deeper into the lunge. Or winged dragon, where we let that right knee fan out and roll onto the outer edge of our right foot, opening that, getting that stretch inside of our inner thigh more and hip. So any of those variations that we feel like doing, right? In and out of them. And of course, always taking a break if needed by just letting your legs straighten back. It's a very intense hip flexor stretch, right? So be mindful of the breath and the stretch. Don't stay in this pose for too long because it's pretty intense. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a little stretch by straightening the right leg. You're on your back, you can straighten the leg to the ceiling. Just lean into the stretch if you're on your knees. And then we'll switch to the left leg forward. So thrust forward, you're on your back. You can have your hands or your strap around your left foot and maybe start by kind of rocking in and out if you're on your knees. Find that lunge. You can take any of the variations of dragon that feels right for you on this side. A lot of people tend to think that yin yoga is easy. Oh, that's too easy. And to that I say it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. Holding poses for a length of time can be one of the most challenging things you can do with your body. And anybody who's new to yin, you definitely want to come into it gradually. You don't want to necessarily hold poses for as long as those of us that are been doing it a while. So yeah, there's a lot of grace, there's a lot of space and leeway to do whatever is needed and whatever your body needs, right? So, it's a body meditation, a way to practice awareness and presence, like any yoga practices. Okay, so we'll take a stretch here with that left leg by either straightening it to the ceiling or leaning back. You're on your knees and straightening the leg and flexing the foot. And then we'll bring ourselves around onto our back and start by hugging our knees into our chest, just relaxing our body. You might Want to rock around. You might like to curl into a bow. Kind of get the body used to this orientation. Now, this moment. And if you have pillows or bolsters for twisting, you can go ahead and put them to your left side. Just come into the habit of starting on that side. And we'll cross our right leg over the left, stacking the knees and bend the knees. And I'm just going to hold on wherever you can on your legs, whether it's your calves, your ankles, your feet, right? And just pull the knees in towards you. Feel that stretch in the right hip. And you might like to curl up as well. Curl into it. Pull the knees in. Anytime you want to just lie your head back down, you're curled up. And feel that stretch. And then we're going to guide our legs over to the left. So this is called twisted roots. And we want to make sure we have support for those legs and extend the right arm out from our shoulder. Might need to do a little adjusting here for your hips. And just let those legs be supported and see if we could get our shoulder all the way down. Maybe having that right arm a little bit bent, maybe a little bit up so we feel a stretch in the front of our arm and shoulder. And sort of stretch those upper body meridians well. If you'd like your knees to be higher up and feel more stretch in the hip and get the twist more in the upper back, you can, or knees a little lower down brings the twist more into the lower back. Wherever those legs want to be. It's best if we can allow our bones to relax completely so we can really get the full benefit of the twist. And the twist is so great for resetting and restoring the nervous system. Restoring our nervous system and bringing it back into balance. Which is why I like to end with a twist. That's what we usually do. Such a wonderful way to end the practice. Okay, so let's start to bring our legs up. Maybe you want to grab the right knee with your right hand and just come back onto the back gradually. If you have bolstering that you want to move over to the right, shift that and rock your body. Just move the legs, stir them. And then we'll cross our left leg, stack the knees as much as you can, and grabbing on wherever you were able to with those hands. We'll pull the legs in, maybe curl up if you like, bring the head toward the knee, and just kind of pull the knees in to feel stretch in our left hip, especially. Also, the curling up might help us wake up from that last twist. As twists are so relaxing, you can fall asleep. And then laying the head down if it's up. And we'll guide our legs over to the right and finding support there as we extend our left arm out from the shoulder. You might need to kind of wiggle around a little bit to find your twist. And again, supporting our legs, having the knees either higher up or lower down, whatever feels best to your body on this side. Everything okay? Somebody coming. I didn't freeze, did I? And you can also have your head looking either to the left or to the right, or whatever feels good to your neck. So you might like to stay in the twist a little bit longer. You're welcome to do that, or you might like to start to come out slowly and taking any movement your body needs here. And we'll take a moment to integrate. So feel free to stay in the twist if you want, or just lie on your back in a comfortable manner and just relax and breathe. So letting our breath be nice and full and even as we feel our body. Notice how we feel, notice our breath. My dog's going to start barking probably because somebody's here. And just letting the energy move through, letting our mind rest in our breath, giving thanks to our body, and giving thanks to our breath, and giving thanks to Gaia for supporting us. We got a little bit of a late start today, so take your time and relax and breathe. Just let any awareness that might come to you have a moment, and take a moment to be aware of what comes up before you get up and rush into your day. And thank you all for coming.